Our top focus this evening on Daily Mirror. It is the curtain raiser to the biggest cricketing tournament, that is the World Cup. Now, the upcoming Asia Cup, scheduled between August 30th and September 17th, provides for much needed practice to the teams ahead of the grand World Cup event in India later this year. And with days to go, India's squad for the Asia Cup was announced today. The men in blue, captained by Rohit Sharma, have decided to go ahead with a mixture of the young and experienced. Now, of course, the usual suspects feature in the squad, including run machine Virat Kohli, all-rounders Hardik Pandya and Ravindra Jadeja, pace sensations Jasprit Bumrah and Mohammad Siraj. But some of the selections are baffling, to say the least. Uncapped youngster Tilak Verma, who had a storming IPL 2023 season and recently made his international bowl in T20Is against West Indies, has been included. Then there's Ishan Kishan, who is tasked with filling the spot left vacant by injured Rishabh Pant. While the Mumbai Indian star has relatively decent experience in the white ball format, he's still to be really tested on the biggest stage. And finally, in a bid to lift some pressure off Bumrah and Siraj's shoulders, the BCCI decided to go ahead with Prasidh Krishna, who has claimed 25 wickets in 14 ODIs, but is another person to prove his mettle against the big teams. While eyebrows have been raised over the new inclusions, there's certainly going to be huge debate over the key players left out, especially in the bowling department. Team India has gone ahead with 3 spinners in the squad, and all of them are left-arm bowlers. Yuzvendra Chahal, who has been a mainstay in the Indian team for years now and even featured in the 2019 World Cup, has been left out. Another spinner to not make the cut is the veteran Ravichandran Ashwin. Well, the canny of spinner has been out of the reckoning in the white ball format since quite some time now. His exclusion still remains surprising. Now remember, India did not pick Ashwin in the World Test Championship final this year against Australia, and the veteran was sorely missed. Now, Chief Selector Ajit Agarkar says the team has been built keeping in mind all the permutations and combinations, and it is unfortunate that some have to miss out. Listen into that first.
The squad's Rohit Sharma captain, Shubman Gill, Virat Kohli, Shreyas Iyer, Suryakumar Yadav, Tilak Verma, KL Rahul, Ishan Kishan, Hardik Pandya as the vice captain, Ravindra Jadeja, Shardul Thakur, Akshar Patel, Kuldeep Yadav, Jasprit Bumrah, Mohammad Shami, Mohammad Siraj, and Prasidh Krishna. And Sanju Samson will be the backup travelling player. The 17-man squad.
While this was all about the squad, Team India has another big challenge ahead of them, the middle order batting. It has been a problem for the men in blue for nearly a decade now. While the top 3 is always amongst the runs, the same cannot be said for those batting at number 4 and below. Now, Shreyas Iyer is talented. KL Rahul is a senior player now. Suryakumar Yadav has blown teams away in the T20I format, and Tilak Verma has an X factor to him. But none of them have featured on the World Cup stage, and remember, 2 of them, Rahul and Iyer, of course, are coming on the back of long injuries. Now, skipper Rohit Sharma, though, isn't concerned about his team's batting. Instead, he's made everyone guess by saying players must be ready to play in all positions.
You know, one thing I want in this team is to make sure that everyone is okay to bat anywhere. That is one thing that we need to keep in mind. It's very critical moving forward as Team India, not just in this format but any format, because you know cricket is moving in a different direction. You need flexibility, you need guys who can step up at any position. No one should be in the team saying that, okay, no, I'm good at this position, I'm good at this position. We want guys to be able to bat anywhere they can, and that is the message that has been conveyed to every individual.
All right, we've of course given you a quick lowdown of this, but what do our guests think about it? We'll find out that as well as I take this conversation forward with Syed Kirmani, former cricketer and 83 World Cup champion, as well as Arshad Ayub, former Indian cricketer, joining me on the show. Good evening to the both of you. Thank you very much for taking the time out. Sir Kirmani, sir, let me come to you first. What do you quickly make of the permutation and combination of the squad? It's more or less on the expected lines, but any surprises in your opinion?
Yes, for sure. You see, now the team which has to be selected at all the formats should have more of all-rounders. You see, this is what we exactly did when we won the World Cup. In 1983, we had 7 all-rounders. And here I see only 3 all-rounders. And I'm a little surprised the exclusion of Ravichandran Ashwin. There's no off-spinner in the team at all, unless and until somebody as a makeshift off-spinner who can bowl. You see, now this is very important. Of course, Shikhar Dhawan is a very experienced player. Ravindra Chahal also, Yuzi. He is also left behind. So I suppose this is very, very important. If you look into the all the tournaments which India has won, it is only the experience which has come forward for the rescue of the Indian team when in trouble. Show me one example where an inexperienced player or a younger player who has been included, who has got a lot of talent, a lot of experience, if he has won the team or rescued the Indian team. So this is very, very important. The experienced players have to be in the team. It has to be a good blend of the experience and the younger generation of players who have been selected. Now, you have 3 players who are just coming out of the injury. And would you be playing like KL Rahul, Shreyas, Iyer? Right, and then Prasid Krishna. So they are coming into the game after a very long time. So it all depends on how would they be playing in the 11. I think they should be. They should be tried before the World Cup selections, because the whole team is going to be within these 17. There will be the 14 or 16 players or 15 players for the World Cup. So on those basis, those injured players who have been included into this team should be tried straight away to see, and even Jasprit Bumrah, who has been captaining in Ireland against Ireland. He has performed pretty well up there. And then, of course, Tilak Verma also has been included, looking into his ability, looking into his capability, etc., and etc. So all these things matter a lot. But I am of the opinion that experienced players should not be left out unless and until a youngster who is performing better than the experienced players. You see, it takes a long time for a younger players to get themselves established. You see, the key to any selection, any player who is selected has to be, the key is consistency. Are these players showing consistency, these younger players? I can understand in the ODI, in the IPL, in the white ball contest, they are performing okay. But in the ODI series, you see, they are less experienced according to me. So on those basis, I suppose it's a big surprise for me that there is no leg spinner, orthodox leg spinner in the form of Chahal, who has been left out, and then there's no off spinner in the team. You see, and there got to be, Ashwin is a good all-rounder. He has taken the Indian team to victory many an occasions. So on those basis, experience makes a lot of impact on any team.
Right, so as you make those opening remarks, and of course, you have brought up a very valid point. We'll talk about the big exclusions as well. But let me introduce Chandresh Narainan as well, author and sports broadcaster, joining us on the show. Chandresh, thank you very much for your time. I'm going to come back quickly to you and Ayub. Just give me a couple of minutes. I do understand a viewer of ours is called in, Balaji from Chennai. Balaji, good evening. Go ahead and share with us your perspective.
बिजली का भी क्या देखा है अभी स्पिनर भी नहीं है, अश्विन भी नहीं है, और सहगल भी नहीं है, फिर कैसे होगा जीतने? मैं बहुत साल से क्रिकेट देख रहा हूँ, कोई भी अभी अक्षर पटेल तो बॉलिंग करता नहीं, उनको क्या डाला टीम में डाला है? अक्षर पटेल तो वेस्ट इंडीज में भी देखा है, कोई अच्छी बॉलिंग करता नहीं है। अश्विन जाएगा तो मिडल बैट्समैन होगा ना, निकालता है, अच्छा है, अश्विन ने जोड़ दिया है देर और पर अश्विन तो
Ji Balaji, thank you very much for joining us with that point of view. Let me take that point across to our guests as well. Arshad, coming to you quickly, of course, this is a talking point. Even Syed Kirmani was talking about the same aspect. Were you surprised as well as far as these big exclusions in the bowling lineup is concerned?
I think, more than surprise, I would say that, the selection should have been with a thought process that a right-arm off-spinner will always be an, advantage to the team. And with Ashwin's experience, I think, he would have been handful for any team. I think he has proved time and again in Test cricket as well as in 120 matches, 150 wickets. I think he has done really well as far as one day is also concerned. So I felt that omission of Ashwin was something we should have looked into, because we are going to go to World Cup with that, and initially with the Asia Cup. I think, in my opinion, that would be a great mistake by not taking experienced Ashwin along with the team, because that would have really helped. And not only that, Ashwin is a very capable batsman. He can get you some runs. I know this is not 2020, but in a 50-over game, he could always get some runs. And although the side is quite good, there are youngsters and there are senior players in the side who can bat really well through. And like Jadeja is a very experienced all-rounder. Similarly, Akshar, I think, he still needs some time for him to figure in the World Cup. But anyway, I think, the selectors might have thought it otherwise. So maybe, at this point of time, I would say that, they will definitely miss a senior player who has been doing really well for India. And he has been actually producing victories for India. And I think definitely that will be a miss in Indian team.
Right, Ayub, as you make those pertaining points, let me take that across to Chandresh as well. Chandresh, what is your first perspective about the permutations and combinations as well? Are there any surprises for you as well? Did you see someone like a Ravichandran Ashwin being left out?
Nivedhana, first of all, thanks a lot for having me, and it's a privilege and honor for me to be on the same panel as two eminent former players, especially a World Cup winner in Mr. Syed Kirmani, who's a hero for all of us. I don't see any major surprises in the squad. I think if you spot the way the team has been picked over the last few months in one-day cricket especially, and white ball cricket overall, Ashwin had not figured in the thinking since the end of the T20 World Cup last year. So I think that it would have been a big call for India to bring him back at this stage. The team had invested a lot in Akshar Patel in white ball cricket over the last couple of years. So I think in that sense, it was a obvious choice that they went with Akshar Patel. Yes, I am a bit surprised the fact that they've not gone with Yuzvendra Chahal in this Asia Cup squad, but that is also an indication that they were slowly moving away from him, because if you saw in the recent West Indies tour, he didn't play any of the one-day matches. So the team management really gave you an indicator of where their thinking was going. And it is also an indication, Nivedhana, that the fact that India has not won a major ICC white ball men's title in the last decade is also an indicator that the Indian team lacks the all-rounders that they had in champion one-day sides of the past. Take the 83 World Cup squad that Mr. Kirmani was part of, or the 85 World Championship squad, or even the 2011 World Cup squad. You had batsmen who could bowl. And in 83 and 85, you had genuine all-rounders. You don't have that many genuine all-rounders, and your batsmen don't bowl. And the bowlers can't bat. So you have a long tail to compensate for that. And as Mr. Ayub said very rightly, you could have looked at Ashwin because he can bat as well. But the team management had already made up its mind that their choice is with Akshar Patel, and they went with an extra pacer, which is surprising. Maybe they know something about the conditions in Sri Lanka that you and I don't know about, and that's why they've gone for an extra pacer. Remember, two of the pacers, Bumrah and Prasidh, are also coming back from an injury layoff. They're currently bowling only 4 overs. They'll have to end up
Right.
bowling 10 overs in the Asia Cup. So all those things have also got to be factored in. We have to tread cautiously when we are assessing our chances in the Asia Cup because of these comebacks.
You know, as we speak about the all-rounder aspect, which Mr. Kirmani was also pointing out earlier as well, Mr. Kirmani, taking that point across to you with, of course, Hardik Pandya all set to play, who do you think will miss out? There cannot be an instance where you play both Jadeja and Akshar, in your opinion?
Who you're asking? Me?
Yes, Mr. Kirmani.
No, who are you? Yeah, you asked me, is it? Okay, fine. Yes, I think now you have
Yes, I'm
got
asking
two
you.
left-arm spinners as all-rounders. Jadeja as... Yes. Jadeja and Akshar Patel are the two left-arm all-rounders who are good enough, who are doing pretty well. And now it is very, very important. You know, you got to have a good variation into the team. You see, there's no off-spinner, genuine off-spinner, and a genuine off-spinning all-rounder in Ashwin will be missed out. So on those bases, it is very, very important to have these kind of selections and these kind of players into the team. Experience is what counts at all times at the time of crisis. You see, then this is what is required. And as long as the tail of bowlers like Bumrah, you have got Shardul Thakur also can be considered as an all-rounder. He has done pretty well on various occasions, various matches he has done well. Okay, and you have Mohammad Shami and Bumrah and Kuldeep Yadav. You see, they cannot bat. I think the specialist bowlers should also practice into the nets, which is very, very important for them to retain their places as all-rounders. It is very, very important for this ODI, particularly in the ODIs and the T20 format, that you got to have more of experienced all-rounders.
Mani, as you make that point, we'll take that across to our guests as well. But I quickly will take in a caller, Mazumdar calling us from Hyderabad. Mazumdar, good evening. Please go ahead and share with us your perspective about the squad.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Why Ashwin is being not considered regular basis? Ashwin is any day better spinner, no, madam. He should have been taken into the squad. He will be useful for bat and ball also. That's
right,
my point,
Mazumdar. We
madam.
appreciate you also joining us on the show. Of course, everybody is surprised with that exclusion, but we'll also get talking about other aspects as well. Ayub, coming to you, we've spoken about the exclusions. Let's talk a little bit about the inclusions. Great opportunity for the young. Talking about Tilak Verma or even Prasidh Krishna for that matter, Nishan Kishan. What is your take on this? It's going to, of course, be a very big opportunity, but do you think the timing of it is questionable with the World Cup also around the corner?
I think, these all-rounders have been, these players have been proving themselves for quite some time, and they have done really well, especially Tilak Verma. He has, whenever he was given a chance, I think he has taken that opportunity to get good runs. And I think, at this point of time that, getting exposure to international cricket will be the right time when you are in the form, when you are doing well. I think that is the time that you should get your chance. And Prasidh coming back into the team in Ireland has done fairly well. And that actually has, probably he got a, berth in the team because of the performance, what he did in Ireland. Although, he worked very hard to become fit. Similarly with Bumrah, I think, Bumrah experienced player, and he which will be a great help to India. If he can bowl those 10 overs well, it'll be a great help to India. I think fairly balanced side is there. Why I talked about Ashwin was that we are playing in Asian conditions, Sri Lanka and India in the World Cup. So I think that would have been a really good choice for Ashwin to be there, playing on Indian wickets as well as Sri Lankan wickets. So I think, but the overall side is seems to be quite good, except for missing one player. I think, but rest of the players they find the place in the side on the performance levels only.
Right, talking also about permutations and combinations and the curious case of number 4. Chandresh, let me get you in on this. There's no clarity on that. Of course, there have been challenges for number 4 because of injuries. They've had to try with others as well. How do you think this is going to work out for India?
I think, Nivedhana, the fact that Shreyas Iyer has been declared fit, that should solve the problem, because Shreyas had done well for India in that number 4 position in one-day cricket. And I think you have other options, and Rahul, if he's fully fit, the chairman of selectors in a rare press conference today admitted that he's picked up a niggle. So let's hope he gets fit in time for the major matches in the Asia Cup and then in the World Cup. I think much has been made of this number 4 position. Like the captain said at the press conference today, they have enough and more options in that position. I think they are more worried about the players returning from injuries rather than specific that particular slot in the batting order, because the rest of the squad, as Mr. Ayub said, looks fairly well settled. This is the best squad that he could have assembled. We except Ashwin, maybe to some extent Chahal, the rest of the squad is what any one of us would have picked at this stage, because these are the best available players considering the options that you have. The only thing is that I hope the tail starts wagging, just like Mr. Kirmani said. Remember, the 83 World Cup was won majorly because of the final wicket stand. If you look at it very closely, the 22-run stand between Mr. Kirmani and Mr. Balwinder Singh Sandhu, those 22 runs made a big difference in the final margin of victory for India. So if anyone knows about batting with the tail, it's Mr. Kirmani, and he knows how to get the tail to wag. Maybe we need to get Mr. Kirmani to talk to the tail enders and G them up before the Asia Cup and World Cup. He'll be in Bangalore any case.
Right. Mr. Kirmani, would you quickly want to come in on that as to how you see this?
Well, I have never been considered as an all-rounder. A wicket-keeper who can bat should be considered as an all-rounder. And you see, now it is very, very important. Of course, in my playing days, early days, there was a very long tail. After me, it was Bishan Bedi, Arapali Prasanna, and Chandrasekhar. You see, Bishan, on one of the occasions at the Wankhede Stadium, he had a big go, and who scored just about 40-50 runs, I think, against New Zealand in the home series. Nevertheless, so it is very, very important that it's a very well-balanced team, but you have got 3 injured players who are just coming out of their injury after a very long time. They should be tested straight away, right, to see how good they are to last the 10 overs, or from the point of bowlers and asking and saying. And at the number 4, which is not a big concern if you ask me. You see, you have got Shreyas Iyer, you have got Surya Kumari Yadav can bat, you have even Rahul can bat at number 4. You see, like it has been expressed, you should be able to bat at any number, at any space. So on those basis, it is very important for every player to adjust himself according to the situations, according to the circumstances. This is what exactly what happened in 1983. I have to be mentioning 83 because we were the 4th weakest team in the competition. So on those basis, now all the teams in the Asia Cup, barring Nepal, probably they're all equally talented and on the same pedestal. You don't know who is going to be in the last 4. So it is very, very important that no complacency should creep into any individual as a team as well.
Absolutely, and I think those performances itself will make this campaign very interesting. But let me quickly get in another viewer of ours, Vinod, calling us from Bengaluru. Good evening. Please go ahead and share with all of us what you think of the squad.
Good evening, ma'am. My only thing is why they have excluded Ravichandran Ashwin. You remember what had happened in the match against Pakistan in T20 in Australia. In the last over, we needed 18 runs, and it was Ravichandran who had managed to avoid the white ball and took one additional run for us and one additional ball for us. He's one of the most intelligent cricketer in the team. I don't know why we have left him out. In case we don't win, it is maybe because of missing Ravichandran Ashwin. Thank you.
All right, Vinod, I appreciate you joining us as well and sharing with us your perspective. But before we wrap up, Ayub, quickly to summarize what has really transpired in terms of the combination as well as how they look forward to be winning this particular campaign right ahead of the ODI World Cup.
I think, we are fairly good side and we have got very good strength of batting. We have got experienced batting as well as, very experienced fast bowlers. And some of the spinners are really good. Jadeja has been doing really well. And with, Akshar coming in and doing good work, I think we are quite balanced. As I said that, without Ashwin, I feel that there is a missing link. But then again, this whole side has been doing really well, and they have been doing well in all formats. And I'm hoping that, that we will have a really good Asia Cup as well as World Cup.
Right, and on that note, I'm pretty sure all of us are hoping for the same. Ayub, appreciate you as well as Chandresh and of course Mr. Kirmani for taking the time out and joining us here on Daily Mirror. One can only hope that they not only go on to win the Asia Cup but also lift the ODI World Cup this year. Thank you very much for taking the time. We leave the conversation at that. We're slipping into a short break here on Daily Mirror. Lots more coming up on the other side. Stay with us this Monday evening.